Welcome. This is Barry Jones from the Angel School, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for August 24th through the 30th, 2020. So let's take a moment before we begin. And for those of you who may be new to my channel, the Angel School, welcome. And if you're unaware, I have a special offer reading for my half-hour reading, which is normally $77, which I've been making available to everyone during the coronavirus period for a full hour. So you would just go to my channel, my website, and there's a link below where you would go to the service page and you would just choose that half-hour option. There's no special button. And within 24 hours, I will send you a confirmation email on the first business day. And if you do this during the week, within 24 hours, I usually am able to get back to you with this confirmation email of your payment, and it will also indicate the special offer. Also, if you're new to the channel or if you're old to the channel, bad choice of words, but don't forget to subscribe and to also choose the notification settings so that you always get the videos. If you don't select something on the bell, you may not be notified at all. So click on the bell and then make sure that your settings have been updated to receive a notification of when I post any of my videos. If you haven't been able to check in for the month, there are the monthly readings already posted for the different zodiac signs. These are called angel scopes. Okay, so you can check out on my channel the various your zodiac sign, if you're interested in just browsing through different ones, then you can check that out as well. And finally, every day except for the weekend, I post a daily card message from the angels. Right now we're using the Moonchild Tarot by Daniel Noel. And you can go to my Facebook page, link below this video, to read that. You can also go to my channel here on YouTube, where I also post them on the community board. So look forward to reading your comments, and I thank everybody for your comments. And please feel free to leave. It was so interesting how each one of you receives the messages that you need from what I write or what I say here. And it's interesting, and I think it could be very healing for other people to hear your interpretations of what resonated with you during the readings. You just never know how that can be of support and help to others. It is definitely supportive and helpful to me. Someone recently they saw some things in what I was saying that I did not assimilate myself. And as you know, as I'm doing this, I'm totally learning and having aha moments throughout the entire process. So it's just very, it's just very healing. And I think, for lack of a better word, maybe it adds more layers to the reading for everyone, for all of us. Okay? So I look forward to seeing your comments and what you've experienced. So let's take a deep breath together. And let's tune into this energy for this week. And tune into your own heart As we all tune in together, we're all tuning into the tapestry, the elements that are woven into this week, and also the possibilities that exists, and that you and each and every one of us together will collectively create. There are things that we will be able to manifest, and they're right in this word manifestation. So getting a sense of being able to really tap into who you are and to really connect, commune. And in this connection, in this communion, possibilities flow through you. And just feel the love in your heart. And feel your heart, or see your heart like a beautiful, brilliant sun radiating rays of light in all directions of time. And see whatever it is that you hold dear, or whatever it is that you're focused upon. See it as a brilliant opportunity, not only for you, but for others. Feel the power of love. Don't think about what it's going to do, but just feel the source of love that's within you, that is opening up because of your desire, because of your intention. This is how powerful your intention is. You don't always have to just know what's the best thing to do or what the next step is for it to be beautiful and wonderful and extraordinary and even excellent. And they want you to connect right now. Really feel your feet on the ground. Really feel the energy moving beneath you. Feel yourself really rooted, but then feel yourself being transported. Because we're rooting ourselves in this eternal source, this infinite energy of possibilities, but a fluent energy. It's always flowing. You're never stagnant, but you're grounded in it. And they're reminding me of an angel number that they showed me at the beginning of my meditation for this reading. It's the angel number 275. And it says, the changes you're making will affect your life in very positive ways. Move forward confidently with your plans. And I've been getting a feeling for quite some time, in this past week especially, that we need to keep our focus. We need to trust where we are and where we believe we're going. That things are unfolding. And you may not see it right now, but you definitely might feel it. And sometimes we're afraid because we're afraid of being disappointed. But just relinquish a little bit of your control especially about what outcome you might experience. Any form of change is a blessing to you. To follow any path or any guidance that you're receiving is a blessing to you within itself. Where that guidance leads you is an unexpected possibility, an opportunity. And the thing about faith is opening up your heart. Opening up your heart so wide that you can perceive all the forms of love, and to practice in where you are right now, by being wherever you are right now, to practice appreciation and gratitude for all the rewards that you noticed that weren't on your radar, that you weren't expecting. Take time, just to pause a lot this week. And I get a feeling that this is really going to prepare you for this powerful manifestation, for this really powerful shift and outcome in your life. Because it's the practice. The practice creates a change in how you are approaching life moment to moment, and opens up your heart. So it opens up your heart, and when your heart opens, the scope of your universal lens expands. And you are able to see so much more. And yes, sometimes you have more choices, and that's something that we struggle with too. It's hard to satisfy us. But that's okay. Don't worry about that now, because you'll know when you get there. Just think about all the things in your life in this moment. You know, now that you're here, what you resonate with and what's just right? It's kind of meh. But you'll always know once you arrive. So the whole point is, don't hesitate to make those changes. Don't hesitate to take those steps just because you may feel that you're in the dark or that you won't be satisfied. This kind of thinking is your ego. It's interesting how we know what might not satisfy us even though we haven't had the experience. Think about that. And then when we do get things, we know we're not satisfied. So what are we practicing here? Because they sound a lot alike. It just sounds like we're using negatives to cancel out everything. Whether we are in the experience or not, we're just saying no to everything, right? So reserve your no's for when you actually have something in front of you that clearly doesn't resonate with you. And I know that we know from previous experiences that there are certain things that we do not resonate with. But I still say to you, leave some room to see, to observe if those things are going to be that way this time. And also keep in mind, it is your expectations that also shape the way things do turn out. Because You are a powerful creator, and you can see anything the way you want to see it. That's what that phrase, beauty lies in the eye of the beholder, is really about. It's all being shaped by your reality of experiences, but it's past. And you don't want to keep living by your past, or your past will continue to repeat. Your faith offers you an opportunity to liberate yourself from that past. And that past is usually an illusion, because it's very rare that we all have a 360 view of what happened in the past. We're seeing it in parts, in different angles, but not all of it. And we're not bringing all of it together. I mean, it's impossible to see the whole circumference of the situation, but we can position ourselves differently around it so that we get different snapshots. And then we put it together to create that panorama sort of view. But I doubt it that many people on the planet do that or have the ability to do that, because our ego keeps inserting sort of a wall between each one of the segments so that we can't put it together. But that comes with your agreement when you decide that I'm not going to completely put the past in the past, because I'm going to never let that happen to me again. And I get that. But you have to realize that the strength does not depend upon you not forgetting. Your strength comes from you being fully present in the moment right now and trusting your judgment, trusting your discernment and your spiritual guidance, which is your spiritual guidance, trusting that. Because if we keep carrying the past, we keep killing our inspiration, because those painful memories block, it's like putting shadows over your different segments of your heart. It's like if I would take the card and block the light. That's what our painful memories do. And so you may say, I don't have a lot of energy, I don't have a lot of inspiration. It's because you're not letting all the rays of your heart shine in all directions of time. And that's what it really means to be present, is to be sending your light and receiving light, inspiration from all directions. Okay, so let's take a look at the Archangel Oracle card for the week. And this is Archangel Raguel, whose name means the friend of God. And this is the card Clair-sentience. So this speaks about, it says, notice your reoccurring physical and emotional feelings as they signify divine guidance. So, your body is truly sort of a touch screen, just like our devices, filled with data, feedback from everywhere. And a lot of times, sort of the neurological responses that you're receiving through your body is an interaction that is occurring with that information, that data that's all around you. And the body is so important because when that data, when you feel support, they're writing the word support, when you feel support, the information of support around you, everything is energy. Everything is energy. Even your thoughts produce an energy, like the sun. Your cells, everything is producing energy, is radiating out energy. And everything around us in our environment is doing the same. And when people are thinking about you and sending you love, just thinking about you and not in your presence, all of a sudden you'll feel this love, this light, this energy radiating towards you, and your body will pick that up, and you feel these warm sensations. You feel relaxed and peaceful, and your I don't even know what I'm about to say, but your mind or your brain, it receives this support and processes it as a perspective, is the word they're showing me. And so it causes your perspective to change about the things in your environment, including people, possibilities. This is what this network of energy can do. And so, likewise, when you feel fear, and whether it's in something you're holding on to or you're interpreting from something that's happening, when you allow yourself to feel fear or to interpret that fear, that it exists in that moment, your body has a whole sort of chain reaction to all of this. And this causes you to feel that things are impossible. So when you start to think about making a shift in your life, you can't, because you see impossibility everywhere. You find it anywhere and everywhere. And this is what it means when we feel like we're trapped. This is what's happening. And they're writing coping, as if the feeling of being trapped or any negative emotion is a coping, that you're like a way of coping with this misunderstanding of your truth and of truth, of the signals around you. I guess you might think, as this starts coming into my mind, well, what if somebody's trying to harm me? And they are. Well, let's start with when people say things to you that are just harmful. They're not really, I'm saying the goddess Pele, this kind of explosive, outburst of energy. They're not directing that at you. That fear is an interpretation from within. It's not one that comes from without, because everything that's coming towards us, it's coming from the universe. It's a gift. Life is a gift. But our inner psychology has the ability to choose. And so the people who do things that we might perceive as violent or hateful or harmful, that is coming from within the psychology of their interpretation, because people don't release. They keep holding on to and accumulating, and the ego's process is to escalate. And it usually escalates the idea of separation. And so that leads to suspicion, this protectiveness, which will cause sort of this eruption, because everything must flow, and it will. So whether it has to push its way through the psychology of the person who's trying to repress everything, it will just make that pressure explosive, because it's going to move. Energy cannot be contained or retained. It must flow into something, because that is what the universe is doing around the psychology at all times. The physical universe does functions. We are the only thing that can create dysfunction. So it's one thing, we have to be aware that our interpretation is what we want to focus upon. And your body, yes, will send you a signal. I mean, there are clear signals when the body perceives that someone is going to harm you. I've really never been in that experience, but I am sure for people who have, it's probably so vastly different, probably at the extreme of what I could even have a conversation about, that it would be clear that this is something that you need to remove yourself or protect yourself, okay? Because what that person is experiencing within themselves, that really still has nothing to do with you. They just think it does. That person or that situation, that the universe would be giving you that warning that this person is in a state that has nothing to do with you, but you need to get out of the way. But I digress, I think, in that point. But I just thought I heard that in my mind, that someone might say something like that. So let's take a look. So just be aware, this even goes for people, who like, I can't go out because it's just too much energy, okay? We need to start embracing that energy, because that is your gift, that's information. And you have to stand within your power and within the love, and be able to not take that information personally. That's really important, because that, if you do, whenever we take things personally, that is you repressing your own light. Because you're always safe. And we don't want to create shadows around your inner sun. Okay? And let's take a look at the card for the beginning of the week. The Three of Pentacles. And I really love this card. I'm so glad to see it come up. And just love how these women are sort of dancing around the Three Pentacles hanging above their head. It shows that cooperation and collaboration. And I just get a sense, even for this idea of manifestation, that in this week you just want to practice seeing the support that you have, no matter how little you think it is, to really acknowledge whatever forms of support that you have, whether it's, a friend or colleague, somebody who tries to talk to you and help boost your confidence, so that you can get things done, or the people who help you just get through the week. And I'd really hope that more that none of us has to feel like we're just getting through the week, but it's our human experience. It's the reality that we interpret, and it's just how things are. But know that there's the right in the word peace. There's a far deeper peace, a central core peace within you that keeps you safe. That is its purpose. This is a reason for that peace to exist, is to keep you safe. And it won't fail at that, but it needs our help, our support in being open to this perspective. And we can only do this when we can only increase this for ourselves if we are open to appreciation that's all around us. And we acknowledge and we, don't forget to rely on others. Don't forget to rely on them. So think about in this week, also, if you're talking about that 360 perspective, and remembering that you might need support from different sides. And I'm talking about support from people you trust, and people who you, better yet, maybe resonate with you, as recognizing trust. A way to recognize trust in a healthy way is to be aware of what resonates with you. But to get that support from all those different angles will help you to be able to get that shift in perspective that you need. Now, here's the 9 of Swords. And, speaking of sort of needing that kind of support so that we don't get stuck in situations like this, where we are feeling isolated, because the 9s, sort of all, under the head of the, for lack of a better word, the head of the hermit here. And one of the things about the hermit is that he often goes off on his own for reflection and introspection, all of that. But there's that other sort of flip side of just being, isolating yourself too much, right? And in isolating yourself and cutting yourself off from the support, you start to, imagine these really, you start to imagine that your world is not safe. And things start to get fuzzy, and you start to imagine the worst, and you don't want to do that. So be aware of being overly sensitive, especially when you don't have a healthy support around you. You can't do things alone. So if you said to yourself, I'm cutting myself off from the world so that nobody hurts me, what you're doing is leaving yourself then to the mind that created that idea in the first place. Isn't that powerful? You don't want to do that. If you have told yourself that you have to cut yourself off in order to be have a peace of mind and to be happy, your ego has kind of put you into a bit of a trap. So you're going to have to get out of that. And it's interesting because, again, we have Archangel Raguel, whose name means the friends of God. And so we need friends. We need professional colleagues. We need all these different kind of interactions to keep us truly healthy, to keep us getting feedback. Because everyone that we interact with, even the people that we don't like, that's how we get to see all the 360 and all the facets of that 360 degree point of view. Okay? All right, so let's take a look at the card for the end of the week. And we have 2 number 3s here. So we have I was going to say something about the Empress because I wanted to go back and talk about this 3. But this is interesting too, because when we and all these cards are divisible of 3, right? So the number 3 is about expansion, giving birth to something, growth. And so the reading in this week so far is showing us that we have this opportunity for new growth in our lives. And the Empress comes here, and this Empress is very interesting because she's holding this orb in her hand, and she's got her hand up, and it's like as she closes her eyes, and you see this energy around her, that light, that orb of light is growing. She's cultivating it. She's going in her imagination, she's cultivating that light and bringing it forth. And it's interesting because the forest behind her is similar to the one here, kind of barren, but in where she sits. So this just does show us that wherever we are, when we allow ourselves to really be a channel of that light, and we shine it in all directions, and we channel that light, that growth happens in the oddest situations. That this Empress brings prosperity wherever she goes. And this is showing us that you have to remember to stop looking at the things around you with suspicion. And because when you do that, you affect that environment with the kind of energy that you're holding. And so by shining your light, you will always hold the kind of energy that brings prosperity and growth. All right? So very interesting there. Confirmation. All right. And and here's the card I pulled from the bottom. I tell you, I didn't do this on purpose. But we have the Nine of Cups. And so we have two threes and two nines. And what this really indicates is wishes fulfilled. So they were talking about manifestation. So let's go back and make sure practicing appreciation this week, practicing and specifically around all the forms of support that you have in your life. Because all those forms of support, that is to say, energy that's there for you, can turn into opportunities. We don't get anywhere without this interdependency, because the universe is an interdependent network, because it's all being fueled by its source, or God itself, right? And that source, God, uses each one of us, works through each one of us to bring the kind of cooperation, support, collaboration that we all need to help us build our dreams, to build our realities. And when you practice this, focus on specifically appreciating the support around you, you open up a portal for your wishes to come true. It's so interesting. I saw this kind of a portal in my meditation beforehand. I kept seeing it. And I've not seen one of these portals because it really did look like a rainbow. So there is some kind of wonderful promise in this week. And it may just really have to do with the changes that you're making that will open this portal. By trusting, meaning resonating, that is, like, trust means what's coming to me today, to follow, to believe in what you acknowledge is resonating with you. And as you trust the resonance of the things, the choices that you're considering and the choices that you're making, you are walking on that path of promise where wishes and dreams are fulfilled. And this is the faith that you need to exercise in order to really manifest what you are wanting. And all the possibilities are on that road, which means be open still to possibilities. All right, so I send you lots of love and angel blessings. And thank you for joining us this week. God bless you.